Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Mixed Media Frenzy. And I'm really excited to do this one today. You can probably tell from the fact that I have just piled on every different kind of supply and medium that I have. The original, the one that we're lifting this week, is this one, which, by the photo in it, I'm going to say is a Vicki Boutin layout. And it looks like the background was done with maybe lots of different mediums. There's some stenciling of text on there, and I think I have that very same stencil. There are some circular elements in there and some smooshy sort of elements. It looks like there may be some gel printing or something going on. I'm going to replicate it in that I'm going to use a bunch of stuff through a bunch of different stencils and with different levels of water. The embellishments I have stamped and cut out of gel prints that I made after the class that I took. And these, I have these flowers were cut from this sheet, which has a lot of iridescent glaze on it and some other stuff. It was a cleanup sheet, and it's a sheet. It's not the sandwich wrapping paper, but it's a sheet that came in between some sticker sheets in something. I don't know. I've been saving it probably for a few years to do something with because I didn't want to waste it. It has a little bit of a different finish on it, and the paint took to it a little bit differently, and I kind of liked it. So I stamped and fussy cut 3 flowers out of it, and I'm going to layer those up somehow. This next sheet is a sandwich wrapper sheet that when I had my gel plate, I brayered some pink paint onto it, and then I laid some stencils, these 2 stencils on top, and I used this to pick up what was not on the stencils. And then I did some layering. I pulled it off and did some other layering and ran some other prints. So this was basically just cleaning off the paint that was inside the stencils there so that I could do something else. So again, this stamping came out imperfect, but I'm still going to cut that out and use it because I can just tuck that up under, but I'm not going to use it today. And then the leaves I stamped out of this one, which was done on a good heavy cardstock, and I used some green paint and some iridescent glaze, and I had some masks on there, and they didn't really come through very well, but it picked up some interesting texture that was already on the plate. So I'm going to use that for something else. Stamping over it, I would have lost a lot of that detail. So I stamped on the less interesting part so that we could pull that up. And all of those stamped and fussy cut elements are in this little holder, and I'm going to try to work in these flares. I have a torn piece of a strip there. I have a butterfly that I may fussy cut. I have several sets of stamps, and I have some Heidi Swapp and Vicki Boutin sticker sheets that I like various elements of, and I'll put those aside. My photo is this one, and I filtered it. I started to go to another filter, but I actually thought my colors on here are going to be pretty much like this. The blues in the background, and then I've got pink flowers and green leaves. And I've got some Twisted Citron that I'm going to do the circles and then stamp on top of that. So we'll see. And I've got a heart stamp that I'm going to use. This is kind of my photo cluster as it stands right now. And I have this, so this happened. Because the story here is I was setting up to take a photo of this, which was my Mother's Day gift. It was a beautiful, beautiful plant arrangement in a giant, gorgeous pot. And John had gotten me that, had this made up for me for Mother's Day. And I was getting ready to take a picture, and he opened the door and stood there and used his phone. So I just included him in the picture. And at the time, when what I was focusing on was this, that was just kind of a throwaway photo. And now, because, you know, because I love looking at photos of John and remembering little, you know, things about our life and the sweetness of this arrangement. Anyway, it's a precious photo. It's terrible. It's imperfect. So I ran it through a filter called Popcorn. And Popcorn actually kind of, it butters up photos. It turns things yellow. And I thought that yellow would really stand out because there's not really going to be any other yellow in the photo or on the page. So we'll see how that works out. If it looks like I need some yellow to tie that in, I may pull some primarily yellow flares out. I have pink and blue flares there, so we'll see how that happens. So I'm going to put all this aside. It's going to take a while to layer all that on top of what I'm doing. I'm going to pull, this is a sheet of Vicki Boutin mixed media paper that should be able to take the water I'm gonna put on it. And I'm gonna start out by doing some of my, I've got 4 colors of Distress Oxide: Broken China, Salty Ocean, Mermaid Lagoon, and Peacock Feathers. And actually, I'm gonna start with Tumbled Glass. And I'm really gonna kind of do this in a just a messy, rub on there. And now I'm going to brush through some stencils with other blues, and then I may kind of shake it up a bit by spraying on some water. You can kind of see that some circles are beginning to form. I'm going to use a different circle stencil for this next color. That was Broken China. This is Salty Ocean. And, well, you know, why don't I? And I'm just going to kind of let that go outside the perimeter of the background that I made with that tumbled glass. Now here, I'm just going to do some circles with Mermaid Lagoon. And I'm going to do kind of first, second, and third printings of it in a way, and do a variety of sizes, including the circles that are you know, meant to hold it in the notebook. And I'm going to go back to this one and kind of do a light all over. Let me kind of do that. Now, I think this gets me, what I liked about Vicky's is that there are some white bits showing through that you didn't completely go over, which was why when I did the tumbled glass, I didn't try to smooth that out any at all. So now I'm just gonna spray it with some water to get some water reactivity going and to give it kind of a swirliness about it. I'm not gonna let it stay on there long, but I do want it to react. Okay, and now see how it made it gave those dots some personality, if you will. They're not just, you know, colored on dots. Okay, now, with a totally different color, and I guess I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna pick a few areas, Vicky's got hers kind of down in this area, and then up kind of right here, and then coming in from the side. So I'm gonna try to do that same thing. That's a good balance. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna apply this hickory smoke with a domed applicator that I just got. And I'm gonna do it kind of unevenly so that it's unreadable anyway, but so that it's really kind of imperfect and doesn't meet itself. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted right there. I'm going to do a little bit up here, kind of have it coming down at a bit of an angle, and then here having it kind of come in this way and go up and down. And okay, so that's good. And now let's see what I'm dealing with here. I'm going to put this aside. The next thing I'm going to do is make some circles that I can stamp a couple things. I'm going to do kind of a cascade of circles. I'm thinking that let's kind of do a fitting of the photo. Kind of might be right there. And then I'm going to say that this area between here and here is where the florals are going to go. And so kind of down from here, cascading down to where the florals are, and then under. So to the left of this text and the left of this text, kind of cascading down that way with some kind of going over there. So that's where these dots are going to be. So I'm using a flat applicator here because I want a perfect circle, and I think that's gonna give it to me. I can probably put one there. I don't know, the florals may cover that, but I kind of want another one right here and another one right there. Okay, and that one kind of goes off the page. So I really like how that is looking. Now, I'm going to take this little kind of texture stamp and stamp a little bit off of there. And they're kind of at different angles around. Let me get my baby wipe and get that cleaned up and put this back where it belongs. Let's see, that goes there. And now I'm going to do the hearts, and I'm going to do the hearts kind of in conjunction with those same circles. And because I did the little texture circles in different places, the hearts are going to go in different places. And I kind of like that. And see, I'm getting some lines there that are coming from the edges of my stamp block, and I think that's okay because it just adds texture. I'm going to do some splatters anyway, so that's just kind of going to add to it. Now, another stamp I want to use is this butterfly, and I'm going to kind of have to dry fit. Let me get the photo back here again. I'm going to put it there and assume that I'm going to have, say, a flower there, and a flower here, and some leaves kind of around. Right there might be a good spot for the butterfly. I think it faces that way, so kind of right in between there. Now, I maybe should have stamped it on something else and fussy cut it out, but I kind of want the blue to show through it. This one I probably should get, I should stamp up that way. So, oh, wow, that came out perfect. Okay. I was just getting ready to say, and if it messes up, if it doesn't look good, I can always cover it with some flowers, but that's not getting covered. Okay, that kind of tells me where to put my flowers. So I'm going to take my stamps and get them off the mat and move the page over here, take these flowers off, and then start adding things. So that's the background as it stands, and I kind of like it leaves kind of a white border around, except there are some things that go to the edge. And I do like that. So, let me get this. Because the story is about him standing in the way, I thought I'd use that so this happened. And it's gonna kind of extend up. And so I'm gonna add some labels or tabs there. I have this one that says, "Today, remember good times." And I thought maybe I could kind of put that in somewhere. Actually, it more, let me kind of see. I've got it kind of off at a wonky angle, and I'm not crazy about that, but pretty much it is stuck down. And that's what I've got. I have a few of these labels left. Not crazy about that color. I have another one of these with colors I might prefer. This one has a kind of ticket that I can just stick out. When I've done something like this, and sadly it happens more often than I'd like to admit, I just add layers and layers and layers, and then it all kind of looks like it was maybe intentional. So, and there are lots of places on here that I can write. And what I'm wondering is whether this butterfly, fussy cut out, might work as part of that. And it's too big. So I'm going to say no. Let me look at, here, this made me laugh. There's I can do a word, and I can add it right here. Okay. And let me put this up on foam. And then I'll start pulling a title and some other things. I haven't decided on any of that yet either, so we'll figure that out as we go along. We'll figure that out together. But this is gonna go on right now. I want some of the blue circles out here to show, and this thing hanging off the side is going to prevent some of that. Let me put a little bit of foam back under here. That's a little bit too much, maybe. Just to prop that up to give it dimension. Okay, I like the color of that because it kind of matches a lot of the colors that the filter added to there. Okay, and there is a, on the original, underneath, there's kind of like a little thing of arrows, and I have a sticker, a Vicki Boutin sticker sheet that has arrows on it somewhere here, but I think they might be too big. I'm not feeling those. Let's see if there's anything else on here. Aha, this one with the little circles maybe could work. I could do that. And then that kind of opens up a little area right here that a flare could go. And let me check out yellow-ish flares. I have a yellow floral flare, or a flare that has a yellow floral on it. That is part of the collaboration set with Spiegelmom Scraps. But I think it would work right here, so I'm going to use it. And I had a title that says beautiful, and I was going to be referring, of course, to the plants and that cute guy. Okay, here I have this, which is just a torn strip from Color Study, and it has that yellow in it. That might be cute right there. So let's add that. And for those of you who are wondering how I can be wearing long sleeves, we're having to run the air conditioning full force because it helps dry things out for the for the mold. It's our own pre-mold remediation activities. And so it's cold in here, so I have on fuzzy socks and long sleeves. Okay, that just kind of adds that little bit of color. Okay, now let's do the florals. I like the ones done on the butcher paper because they're translucent. I guess this photo op could maybe go right there. Let's put that on there before I forget. And there's another sticker on the Vicki Boutin sticker sheet that I could use. Okay, here it says, I love this. And I can well, where do I want to put it? I don't want to kind of conflict with that. I like the Monday, Tuesday, days of the week on the ticket there. Let's see. I don't want to interfere with that. And then I've got these things. So somewhere down in here, maybe right there. I could put that down. Okay. Now, let me put that there. So let's see where we want. I do want these guys. Oh, you see, I could use it on either side. This is the underside. That's the actual stamped side. I'm going to use the actual stamped side because that fuchsia color kind of looks cool with the color. This was a blue, it's a blue plastic Adirondack chair. Okay, so I've got small, medium, and large flowers, and I thought I might layer up. This was the only nicely stamped one. These, I kind of like the colors on, but the stamping wasn't great. It was kind of doubled up right here. So if I layer it sort of that way, and then this one, it didn't get stamped there. So if I hide that and layer it that way, I think that'll work. And I'm going to layer them by putting foam in between each flower. So there. There. Another one. I've got foam tape backing all over the place here. I need something up in there. I'm looking at it and trying to figure out what I want, and maybe that's where that butterfly comes in. Okay, let's see, where's the bad part of that one to make sure that gets... Okay, and now I prop the whole thing up on another layer of foam. And then I think I'm going to layer these two together because I only want 3 flowers, but I fussy cut a few more than I needed. So I'm going to put this one right there, and then I'll do these, and then I'll just work the leaves around wherever they seem to want to go. Okay. And I'll do that in an imperfect triangle. And then I'm going to use the layer in the large leaves first. And I'm not going to put glue on the stems like I usually do. Here, I want these leaves to kind of be sticking up, so I'm going to tape them with foam tape. So they stay propped up. Okay, and then here, this may be a place for one of the smaller leaf clusters. I'll go with that. And I may not need all of them, but that might be something I could add up there to get some of that color up in that area. Now I can do this right there. I'm gonna kind of do that a little bit differently. If I put the foam tape in a different place or use it in a different way, that's not I don't want it to touch the, I don't want it to extend past the bottom of the page. So I'm gonna go with let's see what we need to do here. Do I want one of these leaves here? Sure. I like that. The leaves will all kind of take on different personalities if I put the foam in a little bit different place. Okay, now I have 4 of these, so maybe I could do something like that there, and maybe a one of these flares. Okay, I like that. This flare has leaves on it, or leaf sprigs, I should say. Now I want to use this one kind of over here by this flower. That's what it's kind of color matched to. And it's printed with kind of a leaf print as well. Okay, and then I have this one, this polka dot one, that could go right in under here, or right in there. I like that better. And I still have another leaf sprig to add in. I think I'll add it in conjunction with this guy. Let's see if I can lift that up. I really like, because the water was, the paper was still wet, there's a little water reactivity going on with the green spots. You can see them in some areas better than others, but I love that kind of watercolory kind of look. How about something, well, maybe that right there, but have it, if I do that, it covers up the flare too much, but I don't want to cover up this heart either. So maybe there, or maybe not. Maybe an additional one there or something here. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it for sure right here. And I have to I may cut this last one into 3 individual leaves. Okay, that kind of covers that flare a bit, but if I curl it up, it reveals it a little bit better. So maybe I could do this with like one leaf, that one leaf coming through there. I could do this one maybe right there. Ooh, I like that. Okay. All right. Now is the time when I go back hunting through my sticker sheets to see if there's anything that just needs to be added to this layout. I'm not seeing anything on that one, so that one goes off to the side. I do like this kind of pink label, and I'm maybe gonna add it in just as an extra layer right there. It kind of has that orchid color that's down in here. I think that's all the Heidi Swapp labels I'm gonna use. I do like this word beautiful. And it could go, don't have a good place for it. I do need to pick my title. On here, okay, I do like this live for the moments, and that could maybe go like right here. I'm gonna put it away. Okay, so there's this that says beautiful, which I could arch across here, or there's hi honey, because it's like when you open the door, like, hi honey, I'm taking a picture here. So let's see, I like that idea. It's in gold, and I don't have gold anywhere else on the page, but I think that's going to be okay. And this sticker, this thicker sheet is from Wildflower and Honey, I think. Or it could possibly be from Storyteller. Now, I could go like this where it sort of overlaps that. Or I could do it here where this one overlaps just the little circle. That way it doesn't obscure the heart too much. And I can do that. And now why don't I just, instead of splatters, why don't I just add black and gold sticker accents from here. Kind of put them in conjunction with these guys to make, kind of draw your eye to them. And this kind of brings in that gold. I'm gonna add a gold star up here to the, that cluster. the flare cluster. Maybe put one up there. A heart could go down here on this flare. There we go. And then I'll put a black heart or a black star over here on this flare. Just kind of hanging off to the side. And I'll put this here and then have an overlapping heart. Probably won't be able to see it since they're both black, but what the hey. And there are a few more that I think I can use. I'm just going to put one in the middle of that flower, and I'll put one in the middle of this one, and I'll find one to put in the middle of this one. Okay, I'm happy with it. I will add some journaling to tell the story, and I think I'm good. I'm happy with the background. I don't feel like I covered up too much of it. I think you get kind of the same impression that you get from here. There's a lot of colorful layering up on top of the background, and I got in some different materials. Let's see if we can do that. And I'm really happy with it. And the yellow tints in the photo really stand out. I'm wondering what would you think of some yellow splatters on there? And excuse me for moving the camera. My feet are reaching to get to the stand that has this is lemon zest. I have to be careful because there's another one that's a really orangey yellow. Let's try that. And where it hits the blue, it's probably going to cause some reactivity and turn it green, and that's okay because we've got some of that yellowish green on these circle accents. But this will bring in the yellow that's in the photo. I like it, and I'm glad I didn't do black splatters at the beginning like I thought about. Okay, so let me bring that up close to you so you can kind of get a closer view of the yellow splatters. I'm happy with it. The flowers are a little bit different from those. The cluster has things going off in all kinds of strange directions, which is kind of a me sort of thing, but I think I might have preferred a little bit more linear look there. And I'm perfectly happy with the stamped hearts instead of the popped up paper hearts. So I wasn't sure I was going to like that, but I do. So, and I love the stamped butterfly. And I'm not going to color. I like that he's kind of on one of the whiter parts of the background. So I'm good. And these straight lines where I did the ink pad on there at the very beginning doesn't bother me. Those lines don't bother me at all. So thanks for watching. See you next week for Mixed Media Frenzy. Bye.